This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for USVI News. I'm Haley Potter. We continue our coverage of St. Croix's Lime Tree Bay Refinery in efforts to ensure the oil refinery is operating safely. And we begin with some new information as Lime Tree Bay continues to work towards getting refinery operations back up and running again and the green light from the EPA to move forward. Government agencies are also working together and keeping a close watch. VI senators have been hearing feedback from the St. Croix community, including Senator Sam Carrion. He hopes the 60-day shutdown can be an opportunity for Lime Tree Bay to make things better and, most importantly, safe for St. Croix.
We have to allow Lime Tree specifically, we have to allow them time to be able to look and identify exactly what was the problem, what went wrong, what caused it, and then what mechanism they have in place to avoid this from happening again. I think that's why I called for a pause in my press release that I sent out on May 9th, before the last incident, because I understood that there was too many incidents that had occurred and something clearly was wrong at the refinery, and I thought it was important for them to pause, look internally, find out what the problems are having to avoid something major from happening. And as you saw, something did happen on May the 12th. So my hope is that during this time, they have an opportunity to bring in, like they said to bring in a third party company that's going to look into the whole system, what they've been doing, and that they won't restart until they understand that the plant is safe and they can guarantee that safety to all the residents of the western part, but to all of us here in the territory. And I think they would have to let us know as senators also. We have to feel that it's safe, and also the government. So I'm hoping for that.
And continuing on with that, last week we told you how a top investor into the Lime Tree Bay Refinery reportedly is backing out of this project. Now we have an update on that report out of the U.S. Capitol. Our Washington correspondent Matt Knadler has the story.
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency shut down the Lime Tree Bay Refinery last month. This week, I asked officials at the EPA if reports of the investors backing out of Lime Tree is going to affect this review process moving forward. Right now, a spokesperson tells me the EPA will not comment on that report from Reuters. They also tell me only Lime Tree Bay can speak to the refinery's future. Lime Tree Bay is about 30 days into a 56-day period to submit a detailed plan addressing how they will eliminate pollution, with what the EPA calls an expeditious schedule for implementing a plan. The refinery was shut down May 14th after a series of environmental incidents, including flares that spewed petroleum into nearby neighborhoods. A top EPA official told me earlier this month they are still awaiting the plan from Lime Tree Bay, and it could expect auditors to offer a wide array of solutions.
It's conceivable. I mean, it's the hypothesis that there may have been some human error there. So having a little bit more broader staffing with more attention, maybe something that the auditors call for.
Again, the EPA is not expected to comment on this Reuters report, and they also tell me that basically right now the idea of investors backing out does not affect their review plan for the environmental aspects of the future of the Lime Tree Bay Refinery. In Washington, Matt Knadler reporting.
Thank you, Matt. And Governor Albert Bryan Jr. promoted VI National Guard General Codgo Knox Limbacher to the rank of Major General on Thursday. This promotion took place during a ceremony at the University of the Virgin Islands Sports and Fitness Center on St. Thomas. This rank is equivalent to a 2-star general. Governor Bryan says he's honored to give this prestigious honor to his own fraternity brother. And the new Major General says, quote, "This promotion today is not really about me. It's about the men and women you see before you and the rest of those who are in uniform across our territory and some of those who are even in training right now. Currently, the promotion is a local designation, but soon will become a federal designation once it is approved by the U.S. Senate. Now for a look at the latest coronavirus numbers here in the territory. There are currently 114 active cases across the islands, with 106 on St. Thomas, 7 on St. Croix, and only 1 on St. John. And we have an update on the ransomware attack of a large company that took place last week. Meat processor JBS USA confirmed it paid the equivalent of $11 million in a ransomware attack. The company says this cyber attack shut down its beef processing operations last week. It says most facilities had come back online by the time it paid, but it decided to do so to ensure customers faced no risk. JBS says it doesn't think any private data got out during this attack. U.S. health officials have extended the expiration date for the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. The company said on Thursday that the expiration date has been extended by an extra 6 weeks. The Food and Drug Administration has approved a longer shelf life for the single-dose shots. As we reported earlier this week, state officials warned that unused doses would reach their original 3-month expiration date by the end of this month. Expiration dates on vaccines are based on data from the companies who manufacture the vaccine. Regulators have been reviewing those dates recently based on new samples and new data from drug makers. Also in medical news, a new report says the Alzheimer's drug approved this week could raise Medicare premiums. The drug is expected to cost $56,000. According to a new report, older patients could face co-pays of about $11,000 annually. The report comes from the nonpartisan Kaiser Family Foundation. The new drug is the first Alzheimer's medication approved in nearly 20 years. Well, President Joe Biden and British Prime Minister Boris Johnson met on Thursday for the first time. They're in southwest England, site of the G7 summit. Issues on the table include the pandemic, trade, the global economy, and tensions with Russia and China.
Here in Cornwall, President Biden had his first meeting with Prime Minister Boris Johnson, discussing areas of agreement, including working together on climate, on COVID, and on opposition to Russia.
Prime Minister Johnson and I had a very productive meeting, and we renewed our commitment to defending the enduring democratic values that both our nations share.
It's wonderful to listen to the Biden administration and to Joe Biden, because there's so much that they want to do together with us. It's fantastic. It's a breath of fresh air.
But at the same time, there is a big area of disagreement, which is President Biden's insistence that the peace agreement between Ireland and Northern Ireland, the Good Friday Accords, be preserved in any trade negotiations that the Prime Minister does between the UK and the European Union regarding Brexit. Here in the UK, the G7 summit is going to be addressing not just COVID and the pandemic and the economic recovery, but big trade issues and climate, and also aggression in Ukraine from Russia, how to handle trade with China. Lots of issues now facing the world's wealthiest democracies as they gather here in southwest England.
Meantime, Britain's Queen Elizabeth has been given a rose named after her late husband, Prince Philip, to mark what would have been his 100th birthday. Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, died back in April, just 2 months short of his landmark birthday. Buckingham Palace said the Queen had been presented with the Duke of Edinburgh rose, a newly bred pink commemorative rose in his memory. It has been planted at the Queen's Windsor Castle home to the west of London, where she has spent most of her time since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic and where her husband died.